podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Hey, you know, another wonderful day, right? Yeah, nothing to say. What are we getting into today?
We're talking about needs and wants today, man.
Needs and wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we brought that up in a previous show.
Previous show,
Yeah, and so
Link,
let's go
right?
ahead and deal with it.
somewhere in here.
Yeah.
I've been playing with the links. I think that they're actually working now. No one's actually said anything. So if it is working, please let us know. Please. And while you're there, letting us know if it's working, you can like, comment,
And subscribe.
and subscribe for
Yeah,
all things
always.
TechMCs, right?
Always.
Needs and wants. Like, I need a new job
Yeah.
because I want to be happy.
Or do you want a new job?
Right.
Because you need to be
I
happy.
need to be happy.
Yeah,
Same-
honestly, which
same-
one is it?
Same difference.
Is it?
Yeah, actually,
Okay, so hold on right there.
'Cause I'm
Same difference. I've never understood that
Same difference.
oxymoron ever in my life. There's some of them I get, but same difference.
yeah, same. It's the same difference, right? It's like six of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, right.
Right? But then, you know, that's the one that I never understood, because what if it's a baker's dozen? Then it's
They didn't
gonna-
say a baker's dozen. They
But
didn't say six in one
they didn't
hand and a half
specify
a baker's dozen in
what
the
kind
other.
of dozen, though. But if you're only a baker and you only make baker's dozens,
Then somebody's
getting
on the
extra.
higher end.
Someone's getting shorted.
Yeah, right. Right.
I like same difference, though. Same difference.
Same difference. Okay.
Yeah, because it's, you know, they're both wrong, but they're both right.
Wrong and right all
They're
at the
both wrong,
same
they're both
time.
right.
huh?
It's the same difference. It's like Porsche, right? Same difference. They're both equally wrong and right. I think that's what it means. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Same difference.
Same difference. It's the same difference, man. Needs and wants is hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, there's a fine line. I feel there's a very, very fine line between what you need and what you want,
Yeah.
and sometimes they overlap each other.
Yeah. They mingle.
They do, for sure. And I think now, especially, I think about, like, this week. It's obviously been a long week for myself, a long week for you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that are listening, they have those weeks that are like, fuck, got the shit worked out of me today. It's been a rough week, you know, and in those times, it's really hard to narrow in and find out what's a need, what's a want.
Yeah.
And a lot of those times where you're exhausted, you know, you're barely holding on, you're stressed out, you're whatever it is, there becomes a feeling of desperation, frustration, you know, sometimes just begging for something to be different.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to really use those times to utilize, like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. You know, what do I need to do? You know, what do I need to do to change this scenario? And I think that when you're like that, that's the true definition of need. Not necessarily maybe your first initial feelings, but when you're in that realm, in that world, in that circle, in that mind state, you find out what you really truly need, as opposed to what you want.
I feel like that can be, it's a very dangerous place.
It is.
It's a very dangerous place because I think sometimes what you make assumptions in there out of desperation, that some of the things that me changing this is going to fulfill the need,
Right. Yeah.
you know, or adjusting that is going to fulfill the need. And I think you have to be, you have to be very critical sometimes you don't even have the energy to do it, right? Because at this point now you kind of just tired and you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's almost in those moments where you have to be even more critical about the decisions that you do make, so that you don't make them in haste or make them in fear or make them in doubt or in, and just because when you're tired, sometimes you do tired
dumb
things,
shit.
right? You know what I'm saying?
You're tired dumb shit.
That come out of your lack of effort, out of your lack of energy or lack of ability to really see it through to the end. You know, and you just do it, and now it's there, and now you need to do something else to fix what you thought you needed in that situation.
No, for sure. I mean, I agree with that 100%. And I think that that's where I don't think that there's an other state of mind to really make those decisions in, though.
Okay.
And I think that that's where.
Hold on. So the other state of mind, what you mean? Okay. Explain that to me.
So like really, when things are going really well,
okay,
I think a lot of people ignore their needs and focus on their wants.
Got it. Okay.
You know, because there's no like when things are taken care of, or there's a semblance of safety or a semblance of
my need can take a back seat.
Yeah, because now, well, I want to do this. Like, I want to do it. I can do it. It's fine. And you lose a little sight of that need, you know, or really any other state besides. I don't want to call it desperation, because that's a bad. You know, it sounds bad, but sometimes it is desperation. But there has to be a level of stress involved to really focus on the needs, because even when you are in, maybe things aren't great and you're in a flow, you're just kind of in a rhythm, right? Then, you know, like we've had conversations in the past about people being lost in the day-to-day race, you know, and, you know, your needs still kind of take a back seat because it's now you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm good. Like, I really need to do this, but, you know, things are still chugging along. You know, it's not until you really have that breakdown or that changing moment or that, you know, exhaustion. You know, I find sometimes for myself, it sounds weird, right? Excuse me. Oh, almost burped again. I don't know what's going on, man. For some reason, these morning things. I find when I'm most exhausted, my body starts working better. I don't know if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, like, if I have the energy, if I have, you know, the strength, if I have the whatever, my mind's not focusing on my needs. It's all things I want to do and all this other stuff I need to get done. Like, not need to get done, but like I think I need to get done, but that's taking me further away from my goals, right?
Okay.
You know, you sit down, they tell you, if I sit down, write down the 5 things that you really want to do, your dreams in life, your goals in life, your like whatever, right? And there's things that you need to do to accomplish that. If I have the strength and energy and everything, I'm doing everything else but that, because I'm just existing in this world and getting this done and working extra hard at my job, which really, you know, doesn't facilitate the dream, but, you know, it pays the bills. Or, you know, you're hanging out with these people because, you know, you haven't seen them in forever, and now I have time, I can go do this, or I'm not too tired, I'm gonna go catch the movie, or, you know, because I wanted to see that, and it's taken away from that dream. But when I'm exhausted, burnt out, like, my mind gets very clear and my body gets very relaxed, and I can think and put into focus what are the steps that I need to do to get back to that
to
list.
Not have to be in this place again.
Yeah, to this place, to focus more on my list, what I want to accomplish. Like,
so it slows you down.
Yeah, because you don't have the energy
to focus on all of these other things, right?
You don't have the energy to do it. And
so the thing that's most important that remains is now the thing that I can actually put some energy into.
Yes.
Or it's the only thing that I have the energy to put into
Yes.
at that moment.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You know,
sense.
and it's I think if people think about it, it would, you know, because a lot of times they say, you know, if you listen to people talk, they're like, oh, hey, you need to set aside time every day to do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna write a book, write, you know, however many words a night you want to do.
Right.
Like, so you're basically saying, take that focus, right, and focus on a little bit at a time this thing until you whittle it down to where it needs to be. But what does that really mean? You know, doesn't that just mean that you have too much other shit going on if you can't?
If this like, yeah, this thing is so important, why is it that you have to schedule and force yourself to sit down to work on it?
Exactly.
You know, if it is the thing that is that important, then it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be a task. It should be the most important thing that you're willing to get done. And we just don't operate like that. Sounds wonderful.
We figured it out, but nobody does it.
But nobody does it, right?
Somebody does it, because there's, you know, some people
There's
out there
clearly,
that
right?
are making it happen.
Yeah.
And I just question why. I question why that is. Why don't we, the majority of us, the listeners, the viewers, why are they not putting that same level of focus into it? And then I question, is it really a need? Right? Is it really truly a need, or is it a want? Right? And I think about, like, I don't know.
Well, hold on. In this situation, right? Let's take this as a scenario, and it's unfolding in my mind as we talk, right? So it may not come out right, but let's see.
Hey, whatever. We got time.
I have a car, but I don't, and it works fine.
Yep.
Okay. But I want a new car.
Yep.
I have this book that needs to be completed.
Yep.
Okay. So I have a car, but I go to work and work overtime because I want the new car.
Yep.
Even though the car I have is fine.
Yep.
So then I don't have the time or energy to put into this thing that I need to complete.
Absolutely.
So I prioritized this thing that I prioritized this want into a need.
Yes.
So I've shifted that process up.
Yep.
But it was actually a want. It's not necessarily a need.
Exactly.
It may not be the one I want. It has a couple dents and dings in it. It's bad on gas.
Sounds like my car. It's got a busted headlight.
But it is not the necessity.
No.
But it's just what I'm willing to put in overtime, extra energy, pick up a couple shifts to put in something into a new one that's gonna force me to stay in that rat race, because now I got to keep up with a new note.
Yes.
And this one's paid off too. So let me just say that too, right?
Yeah. You're not paying nothing.
Yeah, you're not paying anything.
Yeah.
But now you're willing to pay more for it.
Yep.
Because you really want it.
Yep.
What if we took that same energy and were willing to pay more in time, effort, and energy into the thing that is pulling on us? That when the chips are down and when everything seems to have fallen apart, the thing that remains, I believe, is the thing that we need to be focused on.
1,000%. I mean, that's exactly what it is, and that's what makes it. But that's figuring that out for each individual person is the hard
Could be a
thing,
life's
right?
work.
Yeah, because it's not going to be right?
Right.
It's not going to be just a car or a book. It might be a relationship. It might be I don't know, a trash can. It could be anything, really, right?
Right.
That's keeping you from accomplishing what you need to accomplish. And I go through it it's weird. Like, I go through it in life. I think that when it comes to needs and wants, you know, a lot of times it falls under self-assessment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we assess ourselves enough. Maybe I am beginning to over-assess, but maybe I'm not. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. And people just try to convince you that you're crazy or you're over-assessing or whatever it is, you know. And another example. You know, like I think about there's times where, you know, I work 5 days in a row, whatever. I have my off day, whatever it is. I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. I haven't had whatever in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's pick a food. Chipotle. I don't know. I want to get diarrhea. Whatever it was. What they have? E. coli. Was Chipotle? Whatever it was. Everybody was shitting all over the place. I want to get Chipotle for whatever fucking reason, right? And it sounds really good. I can afford to go get it. I have the car to go get it. It's not far from the house. I mean, there's no reason why I can't just go get Chipotle.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
No fucking reason why. If I stop and think about it, if I go to Chipotle, it's going to be $30.
Okay.
Right? $30 when I'm trying to save or pay off debt or put a little extra on the house or, you know, whatever it may be. $30 is $30.
It's still $30.
That's still $30, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got perfectly good food here in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I need to eat, but I want Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
So then I struggle, but it's $30 this, but nah, it's just $30. But it is $30, but it's just $30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I go make myself a, I don't know, microwave pizza, drink whatever I'm drinking, and now I'm completely full. I ate, I accomplished my goal. I'm not even thinking about this anymore, and I saved $30.
Yeah.
But pulling the trigger, you know, decide, I know I need to eat. I know I need to eat.
Yeah.
But I want this.
Right.
But what do I really? Do you know what I'm saying? That's a whole
It's
nother.
it's building that level of self-control. I think that is part of because I'm very similar in some regards, but it's building into this process of the, like you said, the needs and wants, working through that thing.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot with food. I do that a lot with food. Because sometimes I just don't want to cook, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't want to fix anything. I want to just be able to go in there and pick it up and come back home and be done, right?
Yes.
Sit down.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
You know, I just don't want to deal with that. I've had a day, but it's money that I can save. And I ended up, oh hell, whatever. Go and get it out of the refrigerator, you know, and doing whatever. Yeah. And so I think that's a good assessment though, because you prioritize and you work through the process of prioritization, even in the small things.
Right.
And so when you work through that process of prioritization in that moment, then you can do it in a larger moment, right? And I feel like that's practice for the bigger opportunity where you're gonna need to really reconsider, where you're gonna really need to work through a larger issue. You know, I did the same thing this year when I was buying flowers. I went to the garden center, and I was gonna buy flowers for the yard. And I had my plan, and I had researched them and what's hardy and what works well in Texas and drought resistant and now freeze resistant, right? Yeah, you know, at this point, you know, I'm you know, making a Parisian garden, you know, and none of this stuff is cheap. And so I'm at the garden, and it's beautiful. And it's lovely, and I have my list, and I've talked to the gardener, and he's walked me around and said, no, instead of that one, try this one. Like I held this man up for an hour, you know, walking through, right? Because they love to be helpful. And so, okay, so let's get it, right? And so I'm here, and I'm excited. I got my little trolley, and I start putting stuff on there, and I get over there, and I was like, but do I really need this? And so now I've wasted 2 hours of time.
Yeah.
But I leave the trolley right there. And I was like, you know what? Let me just cultivate what I already have. Let me just water what I already have. And this is crazy. The thing that I didn't think about is every year I have a watering problem. Right. So because my soil and the way that it needs to be conditioned And so it doesn't really matter what I put into it. It's really not going to survive because I hadn't conditioned it. I don't have a watering system that's going to really do those things. So I was about to put in a whole lot of money and effort and energy and time and work into something I wanted or something I thought I needed to beautify the yard. But I hadn't done the framework to even keep it in a place of survival.
Yeah.
Once I put in all the work. So it was going to just be a waste of money, time, and energy anyway, because it was not going to survive. It was not going to root. It was not going to develop. It was not going to grow. And so the first thing that I needed to do is develop my watering system, my drip system or whatever I'm going to do, set that in place before I do anything else. And so right now I just have dirt because I hadn't done the first thing.
Yeah, you have dirt and an angry garden man because you had to put back all your damn plants.
They had to go back. I tried to help. I put a couple of them back, but I didn't want to mix them up either because I was just like, I don't even know where I got this from.
Yeah, Yeah, but no, I mean, but that's a great needs versus wants, man. It really is. I mean, I think that a lot of people can think through life and think of times where they've seen that, been that, done that, and it is transitioning. Like, how do you transition that to other avenues of your life? Other venues, other, places, processes, people, and really grow that idea, across the board in yourself and the people around you to accomplish, a common goal. And I don't know, because I think like I can think of people in my head. They always are wanting and saying they're going to do, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
We should do this.
Yeah.
We're going to do that, but there's never an action, right? There's those wants that aren't even started. It's always just a want. It'll always be a want. If it was a need, would they make that transition, or is it a need and they don't know how to make it shift over to where they can focus on it? It's just hard. There's just, when you think about like all your interactions with yourself, with other people, there seems to be a lot of want. There seems to be a lot of want and not enough need.
And I know we're jumping in spots. When I think about needs, man, and I think of, the shows and stuff that I watch, and I even listen to conversations of people and they tell you what you need, right? When it comes down to basics, food, water, clothing, shelter,
right.
Those are some of the basic needs. And then I go and I look at the resiliency of the human, of people, right? And I look at that resiliency, and one of the things that I realize is that we've created this dynamic or this thought process that we need some things that we actually don't.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But they're in the textbook. It's textbook. You need this and you need that. You need this and you need that. But I've been in some instances where, so just fasting, right? Where you have to have,
But you got to eat 3 meals a day and 2 snacks.
And you got to have that. And that's the only way that it's going to work. And, this, that, and the third. And I've done 2 weeks with no food and just water, right? I've never done an absolute one to that extent, but I've done that for a week where I did an absolute fast, right?
Yeah.
And my mind clarity was actually better. So when you were talking about, when I'm down to, when I'm really just kind of out of energy and those kind of things, that's when my focus is there. When I've eliminated all of this other stuff, right? All of these, whatever this food is that's operating in my body some type of way, the sugars and whatever, then when I eliminate those as factors, my mind and my body operates at a different level sometimes and fires at a completely different, at a higher scale sometimes than when I'm fully full or fully engaged in something. And so those are some of the weird things, man, is even evaluating what we feel are needs. Are they really needs, or is it what somebody has told us is a need?
It's usually what somebody has told you it's a need, and that's the thing, because you always have, and that's where, I mean, God, now, this is changing to a whole, you know, it's who you trust, who you believe, you know, who you put your faith into.
Right.
And a lot of times, you know, people will say, you know, you need this. If you trust them, you believe them, that becomes your word, and you start spreading.
Right.
You need to do this, and you do this, and you do this. And, you know, you're right. Like the human body, the human experience, you know, is very resilient. It can endure a lot. Like, you can be put through a lot, but I think a lot of it is people don't want to push themselves.
Yeah.
People don't want to try. People don't want to. Ultimately, they don't want to be uncomfortable, right? I think that the false need was to get to a state of comfort, and it's always been like that, right? Like, if you think about the older times, whatever, right? The wealthy people were the fattest people because they could eat the most, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And, you know, even now, like, the goal is to have, you know, the big house, multiple cars, the boats, and this and that, and blah blah blah.
That's the American
yada,
dream, right?
And have all of these things that make life easier. Oh, I need an air fryer because it's fast and it's healthy. I need a blender because I gotta make my smoothies. I need a smoothie is the dumbest thing I've ever. Let me go get the fruit that I could just eat, and then just put it in something that's just gonna just
Right.
like, just drink some water, eat some fruit, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't
Eat the yogurt, eat the fruit.
Yeah.
Now you got your smoothie.
You got
your
your
smoothie inside, huh?
You don't need a $400 blender, you know, and then
Or
a shaker cup
right.
and all this other shit.
And you're going to because somebody told you that was more healthy than the hearty breakfast of natural foods. So now you go to, you know, some shake place, and you get that one made, right?
Yeah, that has 5,000 calories.
Right. But that's supposedly better. That's supposedly a good morning.
It's a great morning for you. I started my day out with was it Smoothie King?
Yeah.
I took 3 days of calories in one cup.
In one cup.
That I'm gonna
and
have
that's
2 more.
and I'm still gonna eat. Yeah, I'm still lunch and dinner are still on the table.
Lunch and dinner, and I had snacks in between.
Right.
And then I wonder why the fuck am I so fat?
Why is this not working?
Is that work? Yeah, I'm only eating fucking a week's worth of food in 2 days.
Yeah.
But, you know, but that's the thing, right? You know, they want that comfort. That need is that comfort. That need is that ability to, I don't know, take yourself away from any type of trials.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, without that trial, without that push, the growth aspect isn't there. And I find it hard to convince people otherwise when they are bought into the fact that, you know, well, so and so said, you know, well, this person on TV said, well, this person, you know, and everybody's different, you know, and I think it's just so weird that people will make their needs other people's needs when no person is the same, you know?
Yeah.
No person is the same. You know, we can sit at this table and we can have these conversations. We have different perspectives. We can say the same exact thing. This person watching is going to hear it and take it a completely different way.
Right.
We didn't even mean it.
Right.
And it still may be beneficial to them.
Yep.
You know, so like how can you concretely say, I need to be doing this because, you know, this is what I need to do? Like, how do you know? Because someone told you to? Yeah, it's hard for me
That's
to
what I'm saying.
understand.
You got to evaluate it through. I mean, I think what you just said was perfect, man, because my need and the basis of my need come out of my experiences. It come out of my current situation. They come out of whatever else is going on in my personal life, right? Or has gone in my personal life.
Right.
Even how I was raised, all of those kind of things contribute to what I attribute to now as a need.
Yes.
Right? Where you and I were on different sides of the country, raised different ways, right? In different situations. So for me to drop my need as an absolute on you is not the puzzle piece that fits. I can make some suggestions. Well, hey, maybe this is what worked for me. Maybe if what you're doing is not working, you know, as an opportunity, hey, maybe try this or consider that. But like I believe, just kind of even sitting here listening, right, and thinking, we do that quite a bit. We make this a cookie cutter thing, but it's far from it. It's not at all.
Not even close.
There's no plug and play in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how we operate, though. We operate from a plug and play system. And that's why books are sold. That's why self-help is so huge. That's why coaching is so blowing up out of the water right now.
Yeah.
It's because we're looking for the plug and play system that I can, if I tell you the amount of things we tried to plug and play in real estate, you know what I'm saying? Because it's working for them over there, so let us try it, right?
Try it out.
And you go run after that. And okay, I see them getting leads over here with this, so let's run and try that, right? But it's not a plug and play system, man. And a lot of factors go into why they're successful and why they're not. And unless you can replicate that in a bubble, it still may not work.
Yeah, can't do it.
So
it's just about, I guess, ultimately, like I said, you're right. I think that if we break it down to the core, to the very, very base, everybody has the same needs.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to breathe. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to feel safe. Now, their personal views on what all those things mean are going to be drastically different.
Yeah, right.
Drastically different. But at the core, we all have the same needs. It's just, how can we get to a point where we stop worrying about everybody else and just focus solely on be a little selfish, right? Focus solely on ourselves and figure out what is my need.
Yeah.
My base need. My base need. And
right.
How can I improve upon that in all ways possible?
Man, I think, I've really gotten into Naked and Afraid.
It's a great show.
It is, right? And it's just one way they're competing now, so it's even better.
Yeah.
But I watch it with a different lens, right? I watch it with the lens of necessity.
Right. And
survival at its kind of base, even though it's a modern survival.
Yeah.
Right. It's definitely, you strip down to your most vulnerable space, right? And you're dropped into a unfamiliar place. And so how do you survive in that unfamiliar place where you don't have the creature comforts of life? And you identify the needs, right? They don't eat every day. Right. They're boiling water every day. They're sometimes they don't have the energy to get up and work on this. Exactly. And they're in the elements of it all. And so I look at that, not that I want to be on the show. That's not what I'm talking about. But I look at the life lessons in it.
Yeah.
And so I try to utilize that when it comes down to being realistic about what is actually necessary.
Yeah. And you'll find out very few things.
Very few things, right?
Very few things.
Very few things. I see them. They found honey one day, and they were just talking about how it courses through their veins when they taste it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, they have a fucking fit when they find some honey. Especially if they haven't eaten after, however many.
Yeah, right. And it was just amazing to the level of, like, you could see them literally brighten up.
Yeah.
When those things happen. And so if you look at that from your own perspective, what are those things that are going to revive you the moment you taste them? That are going to revive you the moment you touch them? That are going to revive you? That are going to get you up out of, this weary place and move you to the next place? It's those things that are the real, true necessities of life.
There you go. It's all about the little things. Little things go a long ways. You jam right with it. That's good. I like it, man. Let's leave it right there.
Cool deal.
What's going on, guys? Hope you like the show. Appreciate y'all listening. But we need something from you.
Yeah, man, we need you to like, comment, and subscribe. We want to know what you like about the show, so that we can continue to create relevant content for you.
Appreciate it.